Hey there gang, the eclipse is upon us at last. Lorwyn Eclipsed is now available on Arena, and we are ready to try out the amazing new cards that this set has to offer. Let's play some head games. Friends and opponents, welcome to Head Games Arena. My name is Jetterex, and today we are taking our first journey into Lorwyn Standard to find out if the new cards can breathe new life into an old deck. And by that, of course, I mean we are playing Abzan, Yuna, Reanimator, using some new cards from Lorwyn. So if you don't remember, Yuna is a 5-mana creature. It's a 3/5. During your turn, Yuna and enchantment creatures you control have Trample, Lifelink, and Ward 2. On your end step, you return up to one target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. So Yuna is a summoner in the Final Fantasy canon, so she works really well with the actual summons from that set. Down here in the 3-drop spot, we've got Summon Fenrir, which is essentially a ramp spell that is a saga that Yuna can get back later once it hits the graveyard. And then up at the top end, we've got 3 copies of Summon Primal Odin and 1 copy of Summon Bahamut. All of these cards destroy things in their first chapter, but Summon Primal Odin is a uniquely good combo with Yuna because its second chapter gives it this creature gains whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. Yuna gives your enchantment creatures trample. So Summon Primal Odin, once it gets that second ability, if your opponent doesn't have enough blockers, enough toughness on the field, Summon Primal Odin can sneak a win out very, very easily because not everybody is paying attention to that, and they may just throw a jump blocker in front of it, and that unfortunately is not good enough. And then again, Bahamut, just an absolute house. 9/9 flyer, destroys a permanent when it enters, and then again on chapter 2, you get to chapter 2 with this card, chances are you've already won. At the top end, we've also got Overlord of the Baelmerk, which works very well at milling cards and getting non-avatar creatures back from your graveyard. It's the only avatar in the deck, so it literally gets anything else back. At the top end, we've also got Disruptive Stormbrood, which the Omen side destroys a small creature, the top end destroys an artifact or enchantment, so it's very versatile in the wide open format right now. As far as removal goes, we've also got 2 copies of Bitter Triumph, which discards a card as part of the cast, so you can discard those reanimate targets. Nowhere to Run, also enchantment-based removal, very, very strong here, and it turns off ward abilities, which is very, very relevant, more relevant with every passing day, really. 3 copies of Esper Origin, which surveils a little, puts cards in the graveyard, gains you life, and then really is just a fantastic mid-game card, and it works very well with this deck. We've also got 1 copy of Kutzil's Flanker, because it can nuke an opponent's graveyard when it enters, and we've got a new tutor that we're going to talk about in a second that helps you dig it out. So as far as the new cards go, we've got 1 copy of Reese the Evermore. I was trying to play with more, and I'm still not convinced this card is really great, but I really wanted to try it to see if I could make it work with the summons. It's a 2-mana 2/2 with flash. When it enters, another target creature you control gains persist until end of turn, which means that if it dies, it comes back with a -1/-1 counter if it didn't already have one. So you can sneak the summons back into play with Reese if you get him in at the exact right moment. And then if you're able to activate his secondary ability, you can remove all the counters from a saga, including a finality counter, so that you can continue to reuse them moving forward. In the 3-drop spot, we've got a card I'm super excited about. This is Twilight Diviner, a 3-mana 3/3. When it enters, Surveil 2. When 1 or more creatures you control enter, if they entered or were cast from the graveyard, you make a token copy of one of them. So what this translates to is when Yuna reanimates an enchantment creature from your graveyard and Diviner's in play, you get a token copy of it. So think about seeing 2 summon Bahamuts across the table from you. Very quickly close the game. And then finally, Absolute House, Formidable Speaker. This is the tutor that I keep alluding to. 3 mana for a 2/4. When it enters, you discard a card and then search for a creature and put it into your hand. This allows you to build a little bit of a toolbox with this deck, having just 1 copy of some cards because the Formidable Speaker is going to be able to get it, but it also throws things into the graveyard to be reanimated later. So I wanted to see if this card could make Yuna Reanimator consistent enough to be a contender, and I can't wait for y'all to see the results. Before we head over into the gameplay, I'd like to remind everybody to please like, subscribe, leave comments down below. Let me know what cards you'd like to see us play in Lorwyn Standard as we move through the season. Thank you as always for tuning in. Let's play some head games. Game 1, Abzan Yuna with our new favorite card, Formidable Speaker. I mean, we've got all the Yuna stuff here in this opening hand, but not a whole heck of a lot else. I don't think we can keep this, because if we don't draw into something, we just do absolutely nothing. So that's just not a playable hand. We've got our Reese the Evermore in our opener, which is interesting, but we've also got Esper Origins, which smooths out our draws. Overlord, if we wanted to play it. This is a decent hand. We'll have to tuck Reese, which means we probably won't ever see him. Let's start with Hushwood Verge. High likelihood we just play Esper Origins on 2, because it's better to Surveil 2 than it is to just dump cards and get a creature, because what we're really hoping to do is draw into lands, just like that. Okay, so we'll get the second Verge down and play Esper Origins. We're going to dump Primal Odin, and we will leave the Cavern of Souls on top. That's fine. Cavern of Souls isn't going to matter here, mana-wise. Because we're probably not playing against the counterspell deck. Okay, our opponent's going to get in for 2. They feel like that's the best thing for them right now. Alright. They are up to 2 speed. Okay, so we can play Cavern of Souls. We're going to play it on Elf, because I don't think it matters, and there's more elves in the deck than just about anything else. Then we're going to play Summon Fenrir. We will dig out our Plains, because that's going to activate both of our Verges. Okay, so we are ready to go. We have Yuna reanimating, summoning Primal Odin. It's a little lackluster because we haven't seen any Lorwyn cards. We saw Reese, but we didn't end up in our opening hand. So if our opponent is playing graveyard removal, we're going to be quite sad. Okay, Summon Fenrir goes to the graveyard. Lightning Helix for our opponent. Here we are. Okay, well, we will play an Overgrown Tombed untapped, go to 14. Play Yuna. We're going to reanimate Primal Odin. That's going to take out the Vastronaut. And that's it for us. Let's see what happens next. We've got 2 more life in the Esper Origin in our graveyard. Nova Hellkite comes in, does 1 damage to one of our creatures. And then they've got a shock to take it out, I'm going to guess. We'll go to 10. What else? Are they pumping? Well, unfortunately, not killing Odin means the game is over. Okay, yes. We will choose to move forward very quickly and just end this game. Primal Odin, still a fair card. And by that I mean, still a great card. Game 2, Abzan Yuna with some new Lorwyn cards like Formidable Speaker. Still looking a lot like an old Abzan Yuna pile right now. We do have Llanowar on 1. Leaves us a fair amount of other options on 2. I do have a decent amount of interaction here between Disruptive Stormbrood and Bitter Triumph, so... I ended up with Disruptive Stormbrood in the deck because I find it very difficult to deal with artifacts and enchantments, and even though Yuna can't reanimate this card, it's still valuable. Overlord can get it back if it dies. I think it's still really quite valuable. Our opponent showed us a mountain, so I think I'm going to get our Restless Cottage down instead of playing Llanowar Elf this turn. I'm interested to see what else they are doing. Pyromancer is a 2/1 that does 2 to us. This is really where I'm at with it. If they are playing straight burn, we want to be very cautious with our mana and cautious with really just about everything that we do. Emberheart Challenger. We're going to take out the Elf. G2 Lava Runner does not have haste. We are going to block the Pyromancer. That may seem strange to our opponent, but I feel very good about where we are at right now. Okay, so Overgrown Tomb tapped. We're going to take out the Challenger before they draw any cards from it. We would love to continue drawing lands. Another Challenger for our opponent. We're not going to be able to keep up with this, unfortunately. Okay, we're denied. Another land is excellent here. So I think we put it on warrior just so that we can play the flanker. Because the life might be what saves us. So we're going to put this on warrior. We are going to cast Overlord of the Baelmerk. We want to take Yuna here. Does Yuna have something to reanimate? She does. But we probably should have put it on human so we could cast Yuna, because now we're in at least a little bit of trouble. I think I actually have to take Fenrir here. That's better. Fenrir is better. Do we kill the challenger now? I think we don't. They can use the Rockface Village on Emberheart and draw another card, so that's not great for us. So we've got Esper Origins in our graveyard to possibly draw some more card, or to gain some more life. So our goal here is to keep our life total as high as we can. We're going to feel really bad if we draw an untapped land. Land is fine. Yep. Let's see what they get. Bolt Wave is very good for our opponent. Very good. All right, we're gonna take out the challenger. Discarding Odin. Yep. They might have enough. We go to 4. So very possible they just have 4 damage, right? Kutzil's flanker gains us 2 life and blocks the lava runner. I think that the move here is impend the Overlord. Get Yuna back and pass the turn. They don't seem to have any stick. I don't think the last card in their hand is a spell. It might be a creature, but I don't think that it is a spell. Bolt Wave takes us to 3. That's unfortunate. Yep. Do you have it? Do you have a shock? Okay. The land is fine. I actually don't have the mana to cast Yuna, so I can cast Esper Origins from the graveyard at this point. Okay, this is fine. Let's do it like this. We go to 1. We will play Esper Origins. We will leave that on top because we can cast it and it gives us a second blocker. We'll play this tapped and pray our opponent doesn't draw a lightning strike off the top. Here we go. No! Exactly what they needed. On to game 3, 1-1 with our Abzan Yuna list with our new friends from Lorwyn. This is a fairly decent start. Lots of interaction, Fenrir early in the game. That gets us a little bit of ramp and fixes our mana. Can't be mad at this. This is a decent hand against most strategies. We'll see how it ends up playing. So good news is we can play the Verge and get Elf down on turn 1. And then we'll see what happens. I mean, they don't... 1 damage to each opponent and each creature they control. Very interesting. Okay. We'll play an Overgrown Tomb and play Esper Origins. So, feeling a little bit like Llanowar Elf is useless after I saw that spell. So, I will take a land, though. Next turn we can play Fenrir. Artist talent for our opponent. Mono red so far. Fenrir. Definitely getting the planes. Okay, color fixed. Let's see what happens next. Our opponent's spells are now cheaper. We would love to draw the dragon. Okay, Odin doesn't solve the problem, and it's going to be a couple of turns away. I think I am going to bin the Odin and leave the Overlord on top. Then we will play this Temple Garden tapped and get in for 3. Very interested to see what our opponent is up to here. Tectonic Hazard is a very interesting choice. Okay. So their artist talent now makes a whole lot more mana. I get to draw a card. So here's the thing. If I Overlord... If I just impend an Overlord, I might hit a Yuna. Yeah, that's how that works. Slam the Yuna. Play Overgrown Tomb. Get in for 4. Yuna removes everything that they've done so far. We'll get Bahamut and get rid of the artist talent. That just takes their whole game away. On to game 4, currently 2-1 with our new Abzan Yuna list, in which we have seen very few new cards because the powers that be have not seen fit to give us any of the new cards in the deck. So, and in fairness, there's only a few new cards in it. The lands are new, obviously. Overgrown Tomb, Temple Garden. That's smoothing out the deck a little bit. But really, Formidable Speaker, Twilight, Diviner. This is fine. I mean, double Esper Origin, nowhere to run Bitter Triumph means I've got a lot of interaction. We can start with Overgrown Tomb tapped. If I get to 3 mana, I can play Fenrir. So, I don't feel bad about this at all. Bat. Innocuous Rat. What does that do? When it dies, you manifest dread. Okay. Let's get the Godless Shrine down. We'll pay the life, and we'll gain it right back with Esper Origins. I think we'll dump the Elf, and I think we leave Twilight Diviner on top. We would love to see this card in action here, so let's see if we can make it work. Okay. Oh, very interesting. Faller's Faithful destroys a creature, so they're going to manifest dread, and they're going to draw 2 cards. Very cool. Okay. Overgrown Tomb again. Summon Fenrir. I don't think we need a second white source, so we're probably just grabbing green here. Now we'll see what our opponent's up to. Love to draw a land here. Sib Sig Ceremony. Oh, they're playing a Sib Sig Ceremony deck. Very interesting. Okay. Okay. I think we take the damage if they try to bring it this turn. Oh, they're popping off. Here we go. So, Sib Sig Ceremony makes it so that your creatures cost 2 colorless less. And when that creature enters, you destroy it and then make a zombie token. So they are, every time they're casting something, they're getting zombie tokens. They're just really going to town here. So, do I take the 5 this time and think about blocking later? I really think I probably do. Yeah, let's take the 5. I'd really rather keep Fenrir out at this point. Drawing an untapped land was a pretty solid draw. Okay, because it's going to make Twilight Diviner a 4/4. Now we've got a Reese on top and an Overlord. Okay. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 creatures. I've got 2 good blocks and a removal spell. Honestly, I think they both have to go. And then we pass. We'll see. We'll see. Faller's Faithful in this Sib-Sig deck is very cool. It is very cool. Here we go. So we're going to block Faller's Faithful with the 4/4, and I think we do have to block something else. So let's get those blocks out of the way. I should have played the removal spell. Okay. I definitely made a mistake there. Okay. Yeah, still very far behind here. I did stop them from drawing additional cards. I don't think that's going to be enough. So I gain 2 life from the Esper Origin. They've got 8 unblocked, or they've got 6 unblocked coming through, and I will only have 5. So this is where I'm at least a little frustrated, and I know why it doesn't work, but when I originally built this deck, I expected Esper Origins, when you cast the backside of it, to double with Twilight Diviner, but it doesn't. So I was really more than a little annoyed by that. So I'm fairly certain I'm done for here. Is that the case? Okay, hold on. Maybe not. So I can play Overlord of the Baelmerk and get back the Llanowar Elf in the graveyard. And that gives me 2 blockers, and it doesn't gain me any life, so that doesn't work either. Oh no! Esper Origins should have left a green untapped. That's not good enough. Well, a land works too. Okay. Okay, a land works. There's Esper Modwin. Gets me back up to 5. I reveal the land, and I haven't played one yet this turn, so I get to hold up Bitter Triumph. Right? I'm very interested as to what they're holding on to. And then we pass. Removal spell wins them the game. Removal spell means all of this was for nothing. And it very much feels like that's what the last card is. Is that it, Mr. Fish? Okay. Okay. We'll get our blocks in. We're not dead. I mean, we're close. We're very close. So this is tough because... Oh, I'm going to pitch the Esper Origins. That's the answer. So we're going to discard a card, and we'll destroy one of the unblocked. We're going to pitch the Esper Origins from our hand. Okay. What a nail biter with this very fascinating Simpson deck. What happened here? When this creature dies, each player draws a card. Okay. What else you got? Common Crook. When this dies, make a treasure. When this dies, scry one and make a treasure. Okay. Okay. So I need as many blockers as possible, and I also need to gain life if possible, because the more life I gain, the better off I am going to be. So I think the first thing that we do is we play this other Esper Origins from the graveyard. I really do like the land that doesn't hurt me. So this is my 4th creature, and it takes me up to 3. And then I could also potentially cast Overlord of the Baelmerk here. Let's put the land in the graveyard and take the untapped land on top. We are trying so very hard not to die here. Okay. Full cost Overlord. Okay. That gets me... It's Formidable Speaker, right? Yeah, it gets me Formidable Speaker, no attacks. Can we survive to the next turn? If we survive to the next turn, I think we can get out from under this. Are their last 2 cards removal spells? I really thought we were done for there. No! Okay. Oh my god. I thought Sephiroth was going to kill us, but it died before it had a chance to. There's another one. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's it, friend. Oh my goodness. Formidable Speaker. Discards Primal Odin. Gets Yuna. We cast Yuna. All of my enchantment creatures get lifelink. And I think we just win here. Yeah. Oh, I can't believe we got out from underneath that. What a cool deck that our opponent had. On to Game 5. Currently 3-1 with Abzan Yuna, with a couple of new tricks from the new set. This is a fairly decent start. We are on the play with Esper Origins, an interactive spell, and an Overlord. I feel like this is a solid start. Our only actual tap land in our opener. Fairly decent. Not bad at all. You know what I love about the first, I don't know, couple of weeks, maybe just the first week of a new set, is that people are having fun. They are like really out here trying very interesting things, and I am here for it. I just really, really love it. Okay, so they can make that a 2-3 next turn and possibly play something else. I could hold up Nowhere to Run here, or I could play Esper Origins. I think I probably just play a Swamp and pass and see what they're doing. I kind of want them to use their mana to upgrade the Figure of Fable, because that really makes removing it then feel a whole heck of a lot better. I've played against this Kithkin deck a little bit. It really gets an enormous amount of value. As far as the synergy goes, this is the first standout, kind of typal deck out of Lorwyn, is this Kithkin deck. Our opponent, who I'm imagining in real life has a very fancy beard, may be experiencing internet connected. Oh, they're touching their stuff. Here we go. Here we go. Bristlebane Battler. So here's the cool thing. Nowhere to Run deals with that in a really, really meaningful way. Okay. So I can, what does that say? Creatures your opponents control can be the target of spells or abilities as though they didn't have hexproof. Ward abilities don't trigger. So we can take out the Figure. And then we're going to play Temple Garden tapped, and we're going to Virtue the Bristlebane Battler. This is why Nowhere to Run is in the deck, folks. Bridget's very good. So we need to make sure we draw another land next turn, and Bridget is going to make them a fair amount of mana. So I think we Esper Origin. I probably did this in reverse. No, okay. I did this backwards. I should have overlorded first. That was unfortunately incorrect. Yeah, I should have overlorded first. I will of course get the Yuna back, and now we're just praying for an untapped land. Does our opponent flip the Bridget? They do. So now they've got our friend. Okay. 2 mana now. Okay. Kinscare Sentry is very cool. I like this card a lot. Okay, they only get in for 1 damage. We're feeling okay about that. Land. Well, I had a feeling that was going to be the case. So now we're in trouble. I mean, I think I can leave both of those. Yeah. Well, because we draw the land, right? Okay. That makes it a little bit better, because now I don't miss the land drop this turn, and I get an elf down as well. Still not feeling super great about where we are, because now they're going to be able to make the Figure of Fable nigh indestructible, like nigh unbeatable. They flipped it back. Oh no! Oh no! That's not right. That was incorrect. So what are they coming into with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can take 9, right? Do I need the elf? I don't really. I might feel like I need the elf later. I actually think out taking the 1/1 reduces the amount of mana that they get out of the other creature later. Okay, so now we get Yuna. We will go right to our end step. Yuna will bring back Bahamut. Bahamut's gonna kill the figure. That's gonna put that thing into exile. So now, unless they can deal with both Bahamut and Yuna, they're in trouble, because I have Formidable Speakers in my hand, which means I get to pitch. Yeah. I had a feeling this is what was going to happen, and really, it's not necessarily good for them. Can they deal with both? Get out of town! Oh, that's so good for them. Untapped land is exactly what we needed. Okay. So oh no! Wow, what a flub on my part. What a flub on my part. I can make lemonade out of this, but I really messed that up. So I could have played Odin and killed the Kinscare Sentry and got my Bahamut back, and I accidentally misclicked because I got so excited. So we're going to pitch a Formidable Speaker to a Formidable Speaker. We're going to get Disruptive Stormbrood. Disruptive Stormbrood can target this Kinscare because of Nowhere to Run, and I get Bahamut back. That closes out this game. I really messed up there, but we are on to Game 5, currently 4-1 with our updated Abzan Yuna list, with a couple of new fantastic cards from Lorwyn Eclipsed, the most important one being Formidable Speaker, which in that last game we saw exactly why Formidable Speaker is so good, because it got us the exact answer that we needed to win the game in that situation. So this is not amazing, but it's also not bad. Double Primal Odin feels a little bit bad, but frankly, an interactive spell and a Fenrir to ramp to what we're doing next, I don't feel bad about that. Our opponent is on some Jace-coded life. White mana for our opponent, and a Hinterland Sanctifier. Very good for them. We'll start with Overgrown Tomb tapped, and we'll see what their second play is. We have the answer if it is a Johnny's Pridemate or something similar. Essence Channeler is kind of what I was talking about. You got it. Okay, we will play a Plains, and I think we pass here and see if we can, see if we can get the Nowhere to Run at the right moment. There's Halia. What do you got? It looks like they have a Get Lost. Their one counter goes to the Sanctifier. Halia enters and gains 2 life. They got one more creature to cast, which is another life gain synergy creature. We're in trouble. So Johnny's Pridemate, we're in trouble. Any other creature, I think we're still in this. Yep, Essence Channeler means we're in trouble. Because that Essence Channeler is about to get very big. Yep. They get in for 2. They draw a card. They are off to a great start. And we feel... Ooh, power 3 or less. Okay, that's not as good as I would like it to be. So I think we have to ramp here. We will take more green mana, I think. I thought it was perhaps mana value, which would make me feel a lot better about this card. This card's good, don't get me wrong. Especially if they hit us with a Sheltered by Ghost. This card's very good against Sheltered by Ghost. Lunar Convocation. Very neat. Disenchant. Okay. We will take 6. Now we've got a Nowhere to Run. Okay. I feel very good about this. We're going to pay 2 life. We're going to cast Petty Revenge on the Hinterland Sanctifier. And we are going to cast Nowhere to Run on the Essence Channeler. This is a very good draw for us. We are still in trouble because that Convocation under the right circumstances is going to make bat tokens, which is going to make it very difficult for us to do what we need to do. Just like what's about to happen. Yep. Looking good for our opponent. Okay. We're going to summon Primal Odin. You going to draw a card? Yeah. We're definitely taking out Halia. And the 1 damage from the bat is not nothing. What else we got? Hinterland Sanctifier. And... oh, they've got it. That is... Disenchant, you say? Okay. Our opponent took some damage, gets in for 1. Yuna is the answer. Here comes our friend. Yuna gets Primal Odin back. I do believe we're taking out the Sanctifier, because like taking out their life gain ability is very meaningful. So now they're in a tough spot. I do only have 7 life. There are definitely things that they could draw that would be very meaningfully good for them right now. I can't believe they're main decking Disenchant. Like, how good is this against us in particular? But how good is this in the format? Is the format so wrought with artifacts and enchantments that Disenchant is main deckable? That's very interesting. Okay. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So, what do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. So we can pop our first map token on Yuna. We drew a land. Back up to 7. We're going to do it again. We will put the elves in the graveyard. We will play Summon Primal Odin number 2. Take out their bat. They can gain the life right now. I do not mind. And then Yuna gets in for 4, and we go back up to 10. Summon Fenrir. Again, I don't care a whole lot about them gaining life right now. Here's another land for us. Now we're on to it. Hinterland Sanctifier for our opponent. They're gonna draw a card. They need an answer right now. You need an answer right now. I'm afraid Halia's not going to do it, friend. That's it, folks. Summon Primal Odin runs them over. There we go. Yeah, Summon Primal Odin just runs you over, friend. You got it. Good sport. Good sport. I love winning that way. This is it, folks. Game 7, currently 5-1 with Abzan Yuna. Let's hope that we get to see at least a little bit of the new cards. We do have our Reese the Evermore in hand here. I really kind of like this as a starting hand. We don't have white mana, but we do have Esper Origins to kind of smooth out our draws and hopefully get us to white mana. So definitely a keepable hand. I'm really hopeful that we can kind of see Reese do his thing here. The idea being that if I can get a summon, get a saga into play, that I'm able to flash in Reese at the right time and get extra benefit out of it. Okay, Overgrown Tomb, we will pay the 2 life and we will play Esper Origins and gain it right back. So putting Yuna in the bin lets our opponent know what we're doing, but I still think that we must do that here. I think that that's correct because we just cannot. Drawing another one right now feels very bad. Okay, 2nd mana for our opponent and Spyglass Siren. Okay, so this is the Dimir mid-range deck, which is very solid. Preacher of the Schism for our opponent. We'll play another Forest, and we will play Twilight Diviner, or Diviner. Oh boy, there's another Yuna and a Nowhere to Run. I really want the Nowhere to Run, but I honestly, we have to draw into more mana or we are just done for. So I don't think leaving either of those on top makes sense. We are begging for lands at this point. Our opponent is not messing around at all. They play Preacher and get in for 2. And we have probably lost. Just not drawing a land immediately changes the rest of this game. Our opponent is very much on the offensive at this point. Yep. They get both triggers from Preacher. We do not block at all. And they get Enduring Curiosity. Oh, excellent. Even better. Wow, we just got dunked on pretty hard. Another not land. Excellent. More not lands. I think this very much deserves a lands, am I right? Certainly my least favorite way to lose a game. I don't even really like winning this way. Go ahead. Do whatever we're doing. They're being extra cautious here, but they have already won this game. Sure. Do you have another removal spell? Huh. Yeah. No blocks. 2 more cards for our opponent. If I don't draw a land, I am going to scoop, and I don't want anybody to be salty with me. Okay, we drew a land, so I don't get to scoop, but I also don't really get to do anything. So what are we pitching? Yeah, we pitch Odin. We get a Disruptive Stormbrood. We destroy one of the Preachers. Yeah. So not only did we not draw lands, we didn't draw a white source, so we had very, very bad RNG in this game, and really that ultimately means that we lose. Yeah. Just in the interest of them getting one less card, they've already got 6 cards in their hand. Like, there is no way that they're not holding a counterspell right now. So even if I draw the thing that saves me right now, even if I draw something that really helps me, and now they've got a Deep Cavern Bat, yeah. 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 Good game. They just take Yuna and we're done. All right, friends and opponents, how did we do today? We ended up 5-2 on camera with this Abzan Yuna list. Again, this is kind of a known quantity. This deck existed before the new set came out, but I really wanted to see if Formidable Speaker could make this deck consistent enough to kind of hang on the ladder. And so far, in the experience I had playing the deck leading up to recording and during recording, I'm so far have a pretty good win rate against a lot of different diverse decks as well. I'm not convinced that it's going to be able to hang with the most powerful decks in the meta, but you probably won't see them all of the time. So it is powerful enough on its own to win games against a variety of different decks, including some of those aggressive decks that we saw today. And the fact that it can keep up with those fast lists really makes me think that there is something to this build for sure. Twilight Diviner is an amazingly fun card, and I'm going to continue to put it in my lists no matter what. I think that there's other things that you can do with it. Getting things back from the graveyard earlier on, like Bloodghast or things like that. All of those things seem very interesting to me, so I'm curious to see other ways to abuse this card that are possibly like a little lower to the ground, but overall I still think it's very fun in this list, and I'm going to continue to try to sneak it into lists like this. Reese the Evermore, I'm not convinced. I'm actually pretty sure that it doesn't belong in this list, and that I'll probably take it out as soon as I'm done recording here. I think that there's a place for this card, that it could do some cool stuff. Maybe it's just a commander card in a Saga deck. I do think that removing all the counters from a Saga creature is a very neat trick, but it might just be a little too cute and not actually very good. One thing that I learned while I was recording today is I expected Esper Origins to trigger Twilight Diviner, and it does not, because you have to read really detailed into this card, but if you cast it from the graveyard, you exile it, then put it onto the battlefield transformed. So Twilight Diviner does not see it at being cast as though it were from the graveyard. Is actually entering play from exile. So if Esper Origins worked with Twilight Diviner the way it intuitively seemed like it should have, I think it would have been a slam dunk to include Diviner in this deck, and that because that combo would have been very good, but it doesn't work. I found that out. So really still both very good cards, and I think they still belong in the deck, but I'm very sad that they do not work together the way that they want. So all in all, I'm very happy that Abzan Yuna is on the table again, that this is a deck that we can maybe play in standard. We'll see if it kind of can keep up with the with the meta as it develops. So before we wrap up for today, I just want to thank everybody again for tuning in. If you're watching at this point at the end of the video, you are an excellent and admirable human being. I see you. Thank you very much. I like your face. Thanks again for watching, and remember, always take care of your head. Hey gang, thanks so much for tuning in. Click that subscribe button to support the channel and check out our last video from Avatar Standard where we weaponized the Rotten Mouth Viper.